So you guys got to hear this one. This is a phenomenal message. We've been talking for months and months and months and longer about blue ISIS, about the absolute abuse of our police and how they universally back each other and back the criminals. All right. And so we've seen this growing and expanding. Well, this coffee shop in California, this coffee shop is getting railed on by the media and all the loyalist good old boys because they took a stand against blue ISIS. Now, I've been talking to you guys. I've been saying we need to start shaming these guys in our communities. We need to stop pretending they're heroes. We don't need to hate them. We need to love them enough to tell them they are criminals. Well, let me show you. And actually, some people left this in the comments, and I started looking into it the past day. And it is really cool. So what we're going to do is we're not only going to get the message out, but I'm going to show you where these guys' sites are, because they're getting absolutely trolled with these reviews that are hating on them for standing up to blue ISIS. And we're going to do the opposite. I already went over there and left them a favorable review for doing this. And if I wasn't a refugee and I could go down here to, where is this? I think it's in LA. No, it's in Oakland, California. If I could go here and patronize these guys, I could, but I had to leave my country to stay out of a prison cell because of blue ISIS. So I feel you guys. But let's check this out. This says, let me flip this for you guys. Hang on. All right. Habla con tus vecinos, no con la policía. So what this says is talk to your neighbor, not the police. All right, talk to your neighbors, not the police. I'm sure there's Spanish speakers in there that can translate this better than me. But the name of this place is Hasta Muerte Coffee, and you'll see there's some photos here. And if you go to their site, people are posting all kinds of nasty photos of like turds and dead rats and saying they're finding this in their food. Just all this. You know the tactics. The cop lovers are always the most base and vile of the when it comes to actually defending law and order. All they defend is their crony terrorist blue ISIS buddies. And I think the message that Hasta Muerte is overall pretty good. Oftentimes race and stuff is brought into this, and I hate to make it about race because it's about all people, but there's also some realities we have to face. And let me just talk to you guys what they're saying. Last Friday, a police, OPD, entered into our shop and was told by one of our worker owners that we have a policy asking police to leave for the physical and emotional safety of our customers and ourselves. They said, get out, you're criminals. All right? Now, and then they go on to say this is going out and they're getting attacked and all this stuff. And then they go down here and there are those who do not share. This is what Hasta Muerte Coffee is saying. And Hasta Muerte means basically coffee to death, right? Coffee until death, okay? This is what they say. And this isn't just a message of we hate cops. This is a message of these guys are criminals. Hasta Muerte Coffee in their statement says, there are those, hang on, I'm finding it here. There are those who do not share that sentiment because they have a friend or relative who is a policeman, okay? And then we go down, and you can go read this whole thing, okay? For these reasons and so many more, we need the support of the actual community to keep this place safe, not police, especially in an area faced by drug sales and abuse, homelessness, etc., etc. We want to put this out to our communities now in case we end up facing backlash, because we know OPD, unlike the community, has tons of resources, many of which are poured into maintaining smooth public relations to uphold power. It will be no surprise if some of these resources are steered towards discrediting us for not inviting them in as part of the community. So what they're saying, and when you go through their posts, right, there's some stuff that people might balk at a little bit. You might say, oh, they're playing the race card. They're playing the feminist card. But I'm going to look at the core of the message. They're saying enough of the terrorism, enough of blue ISIS. These guys are not our friends. We need to be talking to our friends and neighbors. We need to be working with, thanks, Claude. We need to be working with our neighbors to protect our communities, not allowing these terrorist thugs to come in here and take control for us. And so even if sometimes we're back and forth a little bit on all the little minutia of what we agree with and what we don't, we have to come together on realizing that the number one terror organization in the USA, Blue ISIS, is the force, it's the power behind our illegal courts and our illegal laws and the terrorism of our people and the terrorism of the immigrants. It's all connected to our judges and our police. These guys are the enemies of freedom. And if you back the blue, you do not back America. You do not back the Constitution, and you do not back freedom. So guys, get out there and support Hasta Muerte Coffee. I'll drop some links down here in the links, because that's where they go. Head over Yelp, Google, wherever, right? If you see these articles, show some support, because the good old boy police system is really trying to do their best to demonize these guys, and their message is very simple. Their message is the police are criminals and they're abusing our community, and we're going to stay no. Now, I get the impression that if a police officer comes into their shop as a normal person, right? If he takes off his terrorist garb and just comes and gets a cup of coffee, I think that's cool. They're saying we don't want these criminal goons in their uniforms coming into our store, intimidating our customers, and strutting around because they're criminals. And that's what they are. Guys, it's time to stop treating cops as good guys. It's time to shame them in the streets and in the grocery stores and in the churches. It's time to call them the criminals they are. Not with violence, not with hate. Don't become like them, but speak against them. Use your voice. You don't even need to use vulgarity. You know that I never use vulgarity or insults like, oh, F the police. I don't use that because I love them enough to say, you know what? You're a criminal. You're a terrorist. You are Blue ISIS. These cops, every single one of them in the USA, are engaging in criminal and terrorist activity. They're not nice. They're robbers. They're kidnappers. They're extortioners. And it doesn't matter if they smile at church. Jimbo, thanks. Doesn't matter if they smile at church or shake your hand or seem like good all-American boys. They are criminals. And the ones that cease to be criminals very rapidly cease to be cops. And you know because you hear about them in the news, because they're thrown under the bus by their own. If there's one thing the brothers in blue won't tolerate, is a good cop. That's why they are Blue ISIS. And that's why we have to come together and get over our differences and stand against them. So spread the word, show some support and love for Hasta Muerte for having the courage as a business to stand up to these thugs. Imagine if half the businesses in your town started shaming the cops like they should be. Nobody would be offended if a business said, no muggers allowed, no burglars allowed, right? Well, that's exactly what a cop is. They're a molester, they're a robber, they're a thief, they're a human trafficker, they're a kidnapper. Let's start responding to that as such, not with violence, but with truth. All right? So bit.ly/Blue ISIS 2 if you guys want to get some of your own Blue ISIS merchandise and get some Resist the Blue shirts and just get out there, promote that message, the message of peace and harmony and loving our neighbor through standing up for our neighbor and speaking the truth. It's time to get the cops out of the coffee shops and out of the donut shops. The day cops are not allowed in donut shops is the day they will quit their job. You hear me? It's the truth. People have to shame the bad guys. And a lot of those bad guys who are convinced that they're heroes and good guys and they're the good ones. Yeah, some of them are just bullies because they love to hurt people. But a lot of them are actually just thugs for hire, and they justify it in their conscience and they can live with themselves because people are always patting them on the back saying they're good. And it's time to say the opposite. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Peace. I'll put some links down here when we're done. Spread the word, share this, like it, and let's change the narrative back the other way.